What's up, everybody, and thank you for listening to Mastering the Mindset. My name is Dariusdotch, and I'm an actor, hip-hop artist, and fitness and life coach. And I'm here to personally help you train and improve your mindset so that you can, 1, become the best version of yourself mentally, and 2, gain focus and motivation to be able to take action and achieve the success in life that you want and deserve. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to my channel, and at the end of this episode, if you liked it, please share it with a friend or a loved one or someone who would benefit from hearing this message. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm ready to go on this journey with you, and that journey begins now. All right, and welcome back to another episode. So let's dive into momentum. And how can you find momentum? And I think one of the most underrated and important things that contribute to success is momentum. Because time and time again, we see it. We see people start working towards something and they get momentum and then they give up. They get momentum and then they stop. And that momentum could 100% be that momentum we need to really open that next door on the other side of a lot of success. We give up right before we get that big momentum boost, that next level. We give up and then we start something new. And we start that thing, work at it for a while, and then give up and start something new. And we repeat this over and over again. And the reason for it is we feel like we put in all this effort, but we ain't getting the results we want right now. And one of my favorite analogies on momentum is something I've definitely experienced myself. One thing I can say now is that I do have a reliable car. I'm blessed that I don't have to really worry about my car breaking down on the side of the road, because I most definitely have experience with having to push a car, and it sucks and it hurts. And if you ever had to push a car, you know the hardest part of pushing the car is to get it from a standstill to actually moving. And when it starts rolling just a little bit, to get it going a little faster, the amount of force you need to move it is less than what it was to get it moving from a standstill. And just that little bit of momentum makes a difference. And what happens with us in life is we give up on pushing the car before we gain any kind of speed, before we get that real momentum. We get just a small little bit of momentum and say, well, damn, I'm putting in all this effort, all this work, and I ain't getting nowhere. And they give up. And guess what? That car stops. The car stops. And so one thing we have to focus on during the rest of this holiday season is how do we first get momentum, even if it's just a little bit of momentum, and keep it going to make that next wave of momentum find its way to us. Because it's harder to go from 0 to 60, and one of the hardest parts is getting moving at all, right? And not letting it stop. But it's harder to go from 0 to 60 than it is from 60 to 120. Every single car is the same. It takes more effort, more pedal to the metal to go from 0 to 60 than it is to go from 60 to 120. That 0 to 60 is harder on your engine, right? And that's how success is in real life. Another one of the examples I always use is working out, physical fitness. And I'm sure you're probably tired of hearing me use that example, so I'm not going to use that one today, even though it is a good one. But because it's hard to measure mindset growth, right? It's hard to measure how your mindset is growing. You can't physically see how your brain is changing. It happens slowly and in different areas of your life, of your personality, of who you are and who you start to become. But another good example is this. Have you ever had to clean up your house and it was junky? I mean, a straight disaster. I'm talking about from top to bottom, room to room, just a pigsty. And maybe it wasn't your house, but somebody else's house, because I know your house is spick and span all day, every day. I mean, of course it is, right? But we've been there before. And when you look around at all that mess, all the junk, all the clutter, all the dirt, it can be overwhelming. You can feel like you don't even know where to start. And when you do start, you don't really see a difference at first because everything is still so damn junky, right? Maybe you've been cleaning for 10, 15 minutes and you feel like you haven't even made a dent. And you keep cleaning and keep at it until you look up and you say, okay, I'm making some progress. I can see some difference. Now you don't feel like you don't know what to do next. Now you can look and say, okay, I should focus on these dishes. Get these dishes out of the way so I can then focus on the counter. Or let me get these clothes in the washing machine and off the floor so I can focus on the stains in the carpet. You got some momentum and have a better understanding of what to do now. But that don't mean you still don't have a lot of work to do. Because if you stop right now, the house is still junky. Yes, you made some progress, but you ain't done. But because you didn't stop in the beginning when you first started cleaning, you're seeing some benefit of that momentum. And now from here on out, it's going to be smooth sailing towards getting that house clean. And sometimes that's how it can feel. Getting that car moving is harder and it takes more willpower in the beginning. Same thing in life. In the beginning, it can almost feel unnatural, right? But that'll start to change once you get momentum on your side. You'll get some of that mojo. And when you get it, it'll be harder to stop. When you pick up speed, it's harder to stop. Just like when you're pushing that car and it's hard to just get it moving, and then you get it moving and you get it going a little faster and a little faster. It will be very hard if you stop pushing and ran around to the front of the car and tried to stop it from moving, right? It's probably going to run you over, right? And if you are cleaning up that junky house and you get that momentum, ain't no way you're going to stop now. By this point, it almost feels therapeutic to keep cleaning. The more you clean, the better you feel. That house starts looking all clean and it makes you feel a certain way, and you keep going. And hey, can you have a setback? Of course you can. Can you get your house clean and then the next day you come home, take off all your clothes, throw them on the floor in your bedroom and get right in bed? Maybe you didn't do the dishes from last night and you wake up in the morning and the house ain't as clean anymore. That happens. But is your house back to being that junky pigsty? No. It's going to take a few more days at least of you not cleaning to revert it all the way back to where it was. Same thing with waking up early, right? If you're not an early person, somebody that wakes up early, it can be hard, especially when you first start doing it. Been there, done that. All of us have at one point. But when you first decide you want to wake up early, which you really should be doing, like really, and I say that a lot on here. But let's say you normally wake up at 9 and you want to start getting up at 6:30 to give yourself more time with yourself to work on getting your day started while it's still quiet, to start working on your daily plan, meditate, whatever it is. When you first start, it's hard and it feels unnatural. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. Each day, it gets a little easier. And then you get that momentum, and the next thing you know, you roll over and look at your alarm clock, and it's 6:25. Your body got used to waking up that early. Now, will you still be tired? Maybe. Depends on how much sleep you got. But you have momentum because it's in your body now. And at this point, it's really up to you to figure out what you have to do to get the best sleep habits. But at this point, it's momentum. And what you can't do is let that momentum stop. What's up, what's up, what's up? I want to take a quick moment to say thank you so much for listening to this episode, and to also let you know that this podcast is 100% donation driven, which means it's completely funded by you, the listener. So if you like the content I have to offer, I would love it if you can make a donation and you get to pick the amount. I left links in the description of the video as well as my homepage. You can choose which way benefits you the best to donate. And if you need more options, please feel free to email me at dariusdotch@gmail.com. That's DARIUSDOTCH@gmail.com. Again, thank you so much for being here, and let's get back to it. Nothing new is never really easy in the beginning. It's going to be hard in the beginning. And the crazy part is, and I can speak from experience on this, is that after it's hard in the beginning, it gets a little harder after a while. And then it starts to get way easier. That momentum comes faster and it sustains itself longer. If you go through life and expect struggle with all things new, you expect that you'll have some hard times when you're going after things. When you expect it, it'll change your perspective around it and make it easier to keep going to get that wave of momentum you need, versus just thinking, okay, I'm going to start this new business and it's all going to be amazing and I'm going to love working for myself and I'll be able to set my own schedule and it's all going to be great. If you go into situations like that, especially wanting to start a business, not only will it be the opposite of amazing, but you're going to get blindsided by stuff, right? But in life, when you start to feel like the car is moving, you got to keep on pushing. And it's a lot easier to stop if you don't have a lot of momentum on your side. It's way easier. Another analogy I like to use is the bowling ball. If you take, let's say, a 15-pound bowling ball and you roll it down a hill, it's going to be way easier to stop that bowling ball at the top of the hill after you first push it versus the bottom of the hill after it picked up speed. And that's where we're trying to get our lives to. When we build so much momentum, so much positive momentum and energy around something, it'll actually feel harder to stop it than it is to keep going. That's where we need to be. If your life feels like it's stagnant in any area of life, most, if not all the time, it's because you're not growing in that place you're in. If your relationship feels stagnant, it's because you're not growing. You and your partner aren't working towards making things better. If you're not growing in your business, it's because you're not working on yourself, on the business, on reading the books, on developing new things, on further servicing the customers. If you feel like your life is stagnant, you have to recognize those areas in which you need to grow in and start pushing that car. And like I always say, and I'll die on this hill, but action creates more action. Inaction creates more inaction. As humans, we're not meant to sit on the couch or lay in bed and flick our thumb in an upward motion and stare at our phones all day. You ever notice how you feel when you do that? When you look up and you say, damn, I was glued to my phone for all that time? Don't you feel like you wasted that time? You feel like you could have done better with what you got out of that? If so, good. You should definitely feel like that. And look, I'm not saying to not enjoy Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or Netflix or whatever. But there comes a point in time where it will keep you from being inactive, from taking action and being active. And once you start taking that action, expect it to be difficult. Expect it to be challenging. We understand that it won't always be sunshine and rainbows and fairy dust and sugar wind. I don't know what the hell sugar wind is. I just made that up, but I'm going to keep it. Sugar wind. It won't always be easy all the time. And we know that. But just like we know that it won't be easy all the time, we have to also know and expect that it won't always be hard, that it will get better. You will get better and more skilled at it, and you will get that momentum. You will get that ball rolling. And when you do, the last thing you want to do is stop. That momentum is so crucial in finding success in whatever you may be trying to find success in. So my advice to you is just keep pushing. So that's what I got for you today. If you like this episode, please share it with somebody that can benefit from this, somebody who is a friend or a family member, somebody who has goals and is trying to improve their lives. So thank you again, and let's get it in.